So that's a bunch of garbage. So you mean tell me I've been talking for 16 minutes. Maybe that's why people are jumping in and leaving. Yeah. No, I was saying words. Second time in 2 days this thing's messed up. That's really rare. Yeah. I'm gonna have to figure something out here and get rid of this one maybe. Scene transitions, which I never use. And then maybe, yeah, audio mixer. Maybe I could do that. That'll work out. Yeah, that way I can see a bit of everything. Okay. I got my cute little streamer window here that I keep this just right in the very bottom right corner of my screen. So I figure I'll just, there we go. Can even do that. Can I do that? Oh, there we go. See, it's super tiny. Let's keep it in the bottom of the screen. No, it's as small as it'll go. Okay. I wonder if I can put it under controls. Ooh, that'd be even better. Much better. Much, much better. All right. Hopefully now we'll be able to see. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. What's up, Jared? I asked if you were taking another day off earlier. It's no wonder you never responded to me. SIVB, not a bad opportunity here on this one. With some nice price action. Curling up a little bit on the right side. Can't be too mad at that. AMDSQ. Yeah, pretty much talk nonstop when I'm on these things. That's kind of how it works. It's kind of part of the job description. So yeah, if I'm on here, you don't hear me. Probably I screwed something up. Amazon back really nice. Right back to a breakout point. It's pretty close to it. Give it a go. Give it another go. That could work out. That would do this market pretty nice. Apple kind of let it up. This leg here. I wonder if Amazon will be the one to do the same thing. Let's take a look at some mega caps. We got Microsoft, and it's frozen rope there, but looks like it wants to go sideways through it. Starbucks was looking like that earlier too. It was going sideways through its pattern. That's more of a general channel than a frozen rope, though. And let's take a look at Facebook and Google. Google is almost just nonstop straight up in this. They just dominate so hard. They should have bought Facebook at some point. That'd have been like crazy for Google. So there's Facebook. Facebook just, walking its way up too. Yeah, well, you mean Ray? I know the Solana itself isn't a DEX. It's a super fast blockchain. There's DEXs built on Solana. Unless they don't have their own DEX, do they? I don't know. Yeah, let me know your findings. We were doing some deep dives on AVAX and Sol, more Sol lately because it's been leading the market. Are you just looking at the DEX itself, or are you looking at the actual ecosystem and the tech of Solana? Because it looks pretty good. And Solana tech is say like 20,000 transactions per second or something. It's bonkers. Yeah, let's check out Solana. I like Solana. I don't know if it's Solana.com or what. Oh, it is Solana.com. Okay. Yeah, 1,600 transactions per second. Fastest blockchain in the world. Solana itself. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really do like it. Ethereum right now is a disaster. An absolute joke. I feel that the people at the helm of whatever those fees are, they're just milking everybody for just way too much money right now. That's the thing, is trying to get into the ecosystem. Right now, the only way in is through FTX, to my knowledge. There may be some other smaller exchanges, but I don't think any of the bigger ones are really working with it yet. But when they do, it'll probably go up even bigger. Yeah, we've talked about this significantly in the show lately. Not, yeah. No, I think Solana is it. It's the reason being is it's completely out of that ecosystem, and that is a benefit because just like you're doing, right? You're starting fresh. You're going over there. Like everyone likes the next new thing. It usually the new thing has something going on with it that's good. This thing has quite a few things going on with it that's good as well. It's also, I mean, it's new, but it's live. Unlike Cardano, which did absolutely jack crap for years, what seems like a decade. Yeah, so I like it. I think this is next up. This is going to allow the actual dexes to, like, if here the dexes, it's going to allow the dexes to come online. So someone like Binance doesn't have your crypto in their servers. You're on a decentralized exchange, and Solana is making that possible. That is a huge differentiator. Yeah, so Serum is, one of the dexes. There's a couple of them actually. Well, I guess all these are dexes, and they say they're dexes. Some of them I haven't found to be dexes. They've just been staking platforms. But all in all, good stuff. ADA. Yeah, no, you can't be mad at ADA. Yeah, it's yeah, Solana. I don't know with what the market's been doing lately. We'll know more in a couple of days, maybe a week or so, what the market's going to do. But I mean, long term, I think Sol will get up there with Cardano. That's what we've been talking about. In terms of market cap, I think it'll get there, probably surpass it because it's actually a working network. I think it'll. I don't know about Ethereum killer. That's always put out there too much. I said that the other day, but just kind of spoofing around. But I think Ethereum's going to stay around. I have no question about that. But it would take a lot for that thing to burn and die at this stage. But you got something else coming out of the woodwork like this that's very performant. That's a really good thing. So yeah, let us know what you find out. All right, Doc's up 4%. Tesla's still positive on the day. Tesla had a pretty good day yesterday. Remax Nvidia down here. EXPI putting in some sort of a handle or whatever it wants to do. CCJ, is that one of the uranium plays or something? Looks like there's a big line coming down here from the weekly. Yeah, that looks nice. Wow, that's a lot of volume. Just stepped in. Looks like it's starting a small consolidation. Yeah, it was a good move too. Rise sharply after RBC upgrade. So apparently there were some upgrades on the table for CCJ. Oh, BW just mentioned it. Yeah, it's a nice. Oh, there we go. Cameco. It's definitely a bit of a change in behavior right there, taking at that resistance at about the 13, give or take. Just kind of have to watch it a little bit. What's your style, Jared? You mentioned you've been at 88 cents, 15 or 20 cents. You just kind of buy and hold a while. When was 88, 15, 20 cents? I don't remember. That was a long, long time ago. Would you get in on March low last year? Oh, that was 2 cents. Oh, there's 15 cents. Gotcha. Cool. You held through all that garbage, huh? Good job. Good job. Oh, Luna's trying to bounce back. Luna coming back here is pretty good. AVAX took it and is staying down. All right. Well, it'll be a while before AVAX comes back. All right. Dox is happily kind of chilling in highs here. A little bit of selling pressure, but not too bad. Apple, same thing. Net looks great. And Microsoft. Microsoft not bad either. XPI, LAC. LAC's been on a tear too here, very similar to CCJ. A lot of good volume here. Good volume up, pull back, and then good volume up here at the stalling point. Another little base here for LAC. It's a lithium company. I think it's mining. Yeah, so you have been in it for a while. Yeah, it's happy at number 3. I don't know if it gets much higher than that though. Price action lately has been a little bit rough. I like this SIVB sitting up here like this. Looks yummy. Nvidia coming down more towards the low of the day, it looks like. Still lower volume generally, shouldn't be too huge of an issue. All right, what else is interesting today? Uh, Tesla creeping up? Yeah, it's being sneaky. Yeah, I know about steady. It's been on a nice trajectory though. It was a little choppy. There was a couple of barks here in the middle, but it's doing pretty good. Yeah, it is pretty sneaky. There's no clean way to get in it. You're just kind of in it. You got some Tesla, Jared? Haven't added. Okay. Yeah, these are interesting situations. You can always get pullbacks when it's doing this. That supportive trend line, which is right now just below the 50-day moving average. Looks like that's being some good support right now. Goal is 50. Okay. Yeah, we've been working on JJ's model. I think I want to modify that a little bit. Let's do that real quick. Oh, the spreadsheet? Yeah. Um, Here it is. Spreadsheet sheet. I'll give you a list to it or a link to it if you want to check it out. So let me change over to Real Crypto because that has admin or privileges to adjust. I did see something that I thought was so let's go through this a little bit. So he's got gigawatt hours produced per year here. You got the years 2017 down to 2030, year over year growth rate right here. Next year's a blow off year at 100 and whatever percent due to two factories open. Um, Maybe that'll get pushed out a year, split between both of these years. Just have to see how that. This is probably one of the toughest 2 years to manage. After that, there's a lot more conjecture because we don't know if Robotaxi is going to be good or around at all before 2025, 2026. Anyway, so yeah, so how much they buy and how much they've made. Ooh, hold on a second. All right, sorry. So they say they're going to buy some, and they're going to build some, and eventually they're going to, they're going to be building more than they buy. Which, so I mean, this is taken on some assumptions, but it doesn't really matter other than to margin. And I think he's put that in there. So here's 50 gigawatt hour packs, and then here's the inflation. I think this may be where things get a little bit out of control here. I don't think the price of the Tesla in 2030 will be 51,000. I think this is going to actually stagnate um, at a point, maybe around the $40,000 range. Like right now, I don't know if our average price is 31,000 or what it is. I'm not sure, but I think this will actually stagnate for a while, which will impact lots of stuff. Um, so 31,650. I mean, so let me adjust these numbers and I can undo them in a little bit here. So let's say things stall at about 35,000 because they're going to have that less expensive car. I'm going to start going up a little bit here. So that's going to adjust your total stuff here. And it doesn't look, did it adjust the share price? Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. So I adjust it down to about 18,000 with inflation. This doesn't completely take inflation into account, but I do think that Tesla will have these, it'll basically plateau at certain stages. I don't know, this was up at 51. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case. So this is Tesla at about $18,000 a share. And I don't think it has anything to do with robo taxis or subscriptions or any of that. I think I think this stuff is pretty up in the air at the moment. What if inflation sticks around or grows? Wouldn't car prices stay the same or rise slightly? Yeah, well, because it's a catch 22. Yeah, it's a catch 22 due to the fact that Tesla likes to lower prices if they can. So that they always have internally kind of a deflationary pressure. I mean, they've already raised and lowered and raised prices. They're pretty fluid with their prices. If they have a $5,000 savings, I think they split that with the customer, so they'll lower the cost $2,500. So I think we're going to get to a point of about $35,000 equilibrium for a while. Once everything's at scale and running smoothly, then they may start slowly raising prices at some point. I mean, obviously, this is all just conjecture, but I think that's kind of, at least in my mind, what I'm thinking about. So let me undo that so JJ doesn't get annoyed. Yeah. So that's what JJ has. It puts us up at 25,000. The way I did it put us up at 18,000. Because like I don't see the average pack being in 8 years 51 grand. That just seems like a lot. Now general inflation may be 5.5%, but that doesn't mean that the Tesla costs or not costs, but their prices are going to reflect that. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So I mean, it would maybe it stops at 40,000, but I think 50,000 because the way inflation works when you start compounding like that. Um, I don't know. I think Tesla's inflation probably would be like we can look at Model S prices over time, see what we can come up with there. Um, yeah, here's Tesla price cuts, and it doesn't show what I want. Model Y price history graph, maybe that'll show us something. Model 3 base history. So, and this is only over 2 years. So you can see, I mean, there is zero inflation on this chart. So I don't want to be building in. I'd prefer not to be building in a ton of inflation from the jump, because this is 2 years, year and a half, depending on what you want to call it. What's this one? Quarterly deliveries. We're looking at prices. This goes back to 2017 into 2019. So it takes a little bit further back look into 2017, and you can see here there's some declines there. Goes from 67 to 55. So they do routinely try to lower their prices, and I think that's a good thing. I think it'll. It's interesting though, because right now they can't come close to building enough, so the prices actually got raised up a little bit. But this is actually based on kind of a battery pack model, less than a car model, which is why the prices are 30,000 and not, because I think the average price right now is 40,000, which accounts for that. But yeah, I mean, in a couple of years, you're going to see Tesla with a pretty big market cap. So this share price, if you have it here, it has it 6,000 by 2025. Kathy Wood was saying 5,000, but let's say we plateau this at 35K. Actually, it's plateau at 33K. Let's just do 33K, because they're coming out with a cheaper model. They're coming out with all kinds of stuff. So if you just plateau the price right here, and let's just remove inflation from Tesla. Now, one thing this may do, and I didn't know he added it in this way. Inflation could affect the actual share price more than it affects the car itself, in my opinion, um, because there'll be more dollars to put into the stock, which may not affect the actual sales price of any of their products, but it may affect the share price. So 16,000 in 2030, that could be that still could be inflated. I was thinking like 13 to 25,000. That's my range I've got. 13,000 was kind of my minimum. This one says 16,000 if we take that inflationary pressure out. So even my 13,000 may be a bit low. But that's kind of what I mean. That's in a nutshell what it looks like if everything stays flat. Because here's the thing, they're going to come out with that model, that cheaper model, sometime. I would assume 20. They say 2023 now, but of course it's going to get pushed back out to 2024. So even if this does get bumped up to say 35,000, it may drop immediately right back down to 34,000 and then 33,000. Whoops. And then maybe, 31,000, but they may be selling more and more vehicles if they can produce the packs. Elon said multiple times that the battery pack is the limiting factor here. So if they can get enough of the minerals, if they can get that production process down where they can just, they can build all these battery processes really fast. I think you're going to see a lot of things ramp up really fast as long as they have the minerals to do so. And mega packs and stuff like that, or this is all technically included in here, but your average price is going to take an upward sloping trajectory or a downward sloping trajectory. So we should bump up for the short term and then probably down for the intermediate term and long term. It's hard to say because you're going to have Semi and Roadster come on. Those are higher price vehicles, but you're not really producing them in super mass quantities. So it may or may not even affect the bottom line when you're making 4 or 5 million cars a year and you're making 150,000 semi trucks. It may not even move the needle. All right, guys, I gotta bail. I gotta get my kids up for school. They're still asleep, which is pretty rare. Let's check out the markets. pretty sideways. Tesla bounced back to the upside here. Nvidia up a little bit. Apple came down a little bit. Docs came down a little bit. Netflix leading the charge. Oh, Netflix is up and out. Yep. There we go. All right, guys. See you, Jared. Have a good one.